Menstrual pain is likely linked to your brain. Coming to you with a period that arrived 3-4 days earlier than expected, raging cramps, body aches, and I am not surprised. And I want to share with you the neuroscience behind why and how you can avoid it in the future. For those who don't know, the women's hormonal cycle, when they have a menstrual cycle, when they have their period, is between 21 to 28 days. And it's in 4 different cycles. And each kind of phase of this within the cycle has different hormonal signature. Now, where your brain comes in is that your stress levels, right, which one way to measure it is through cortisol, changes naturally in these phases. So for example, early in your hormonal cycle, your follicular phase, you have higher levels of cortisol. And right before your period, which is your luteal phase, you typically have lower levels of cortisol. And there's a reason for this. So progesterone has been shown to be able to change into cortisol. So it's in some studies shown as a precursor hormone to cortisol. It's also been shown to use some of the same building blocks as cortisol. And cortisol has also been shown to potentially bind to progesterone receptors. So what this all means is that when you have high levels of cortisol in your luteal phase, you typically have lower progesterone. And when you have lower progesterone in this phase, this is often when premenstrual symptoms come up, PMS symptoms. So irregular periods, cramping, headaches, that kind of thing. What this means is that, stress management is extremely critical in this phase. And it's not always possible to be able to reschedule things so that you're avoiding any kind of stress in this phase. If you can, that's great. But it does mean that you can focus on implementing more tools or spending more time on different practices that help you reduce your stress during this time. Now, the reason why I'm sitting with raging cramps, even though I know this information, is because I had a busy holiday season. I've been traveling a lot, eating things I don't normally eat, sleeping in different places, managing the stress of traveling. And I noticed I was a bit more reactive to certain triggers that normally I'm not that reactive to. And it's in part because I didn't keep up some of my normal tools like, longer meditations, really great sleep, slow walks to help continue to regulate my cortisol levels. So, it's fine. We're here. We're resting and doing what we can. But it is an interesting shift. And, there's so much talk about hormone health related to our menstrual cycle in terms of things we consume, things we wear, things we need to be mindful of, supplements. But a really, really big component, especially in this phase, your luteal phase, is stress management. So I want you to drop below any questions you have about hormones and how they relate to your nervous system. And if you're curious about tools and strategies to help manage your stress, follow along and we'll continue to work together to build our best brain.